Tuesday edition of Right Line Trading, live futures room, the opening bell. Just want to do a quick sound check. Make sure everyone in the YouTube universe can hear me okay. Just gonna let this do its thing right now. It's a great sound, perfect. Alrighty. Still have a flat 50 here. We got a little. You remember, like I was explaining to you with the settings that I have on my 8-unit Renko. I have this set at a 30 bias, and then I'll give you the background color. And I've got my 30 range chart right here. You can tweak it. If you do, I would put that chart up there just to take a look at it. But we've gone from 30 to 21. The C signal uses a 13. Really very tweaked, you could say. So this is what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, and the 50 range creates the C2. So when this had a little bit of green on the trend line before it went flat again, we started getting the stair step. Okay, that's like the 4th level of confirmation. So using the money flow tracker, I'm looking for my quants. I'm looking for my background bias. I'm looking for my leg gear to go up. And what I'm looking for is to get I want on my explosion indicator here, I want it to kind of match the candle above the orange line. And then I want to give, is there a good reason to get in over here? You know, where am I on the 50? Am I in trend? Am I in a gap trade where the candle is in between the trend line and the 50? You know, is it approaching? Is it, you know, are the colors opposite? So now I'm going to start looking here. What do I have? Well, potentially a gap trade. Not much of a gap when you've got the VWAP right in between it. Well, let's just let things kind of go into place here. We don't have to be in a hurry to trade. Just wait for the better setups. Okay, this is starting to peak above here. I like it. This is starting to make sense. Okay, I got my bias going right into this volume zone now. Got to be careful with that. Got my C2. Kind of. It's dancing because it's got that volume zone above it also. This is high of session right here. Looks like overall we're in an uptrend. Seems to be some forces trying to push this down. But I do keep an 89 chart up on the other screen just to look at it, and I'm like, well, this is kind of, it looks like we're almost getting a fresh cross here. Nice angle of the volume of the trend line. Well, this could be. We're above the VWAP, so let's see if this can just shake itself loose. Do I use a Revo at all with any of your strategies? Are you talking about the auto trade, or are you just talking about the money flow tracker? This is for Duke. I do have all the auto trade charts up. I pretty much in the morning sessions, I kind of I manually trade. Because I want to show everyone how the money flow tracker works and how you can modify it to, if you'd like to manually trade, which is something I like to do. That's how I got started. And it's one of those things I really enjoy doing. Okay, we got our C2. Okay, this is actually looking pretty good. We do have to get auto. I have a bunch of auto charts set up. In this room, I'm pretty much doing the money flow tracker system, which is what you see here. This is the Steven, what they call it, the Steven signal or something. This chart is set up for doing the auto trades. But for the most part here, I'm following the money flow tracker and manually trading. I think this is for me because I like to know how things work, especially with the like with the auto trade. I like to see what all those when you can set the different parameters of the auto trading. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when you've got the 50 and the fast moving average and the slow moving average and the pivots? I learned that through the money flow tracker. So now when I see how they're trying to program things and how you can set different parameters, it makes sense to me because I have a good understanding of kind of what it was based on. And that's why I kind of think it's important to have a knowledge of this, so you'll understand how to tweak the different parameters when you do your trading, whether it be, especially with the auto trading. But that's me. I like to know how things work. there's a lot of successful people using the auto trading right now. What I just read about someone getting like 10 or 15 accounts passed in like a couple days or one day. I mean, that's great. That's incredible. Yeah, I do. There's two ways I've traded. Right now in this room today, I really just want to show how the money flow tracker works, and then what I'll do, and I'll do something sometimes what Mark does, is I'll have the Revo Auto up, and I'll watch the trades, and I'll manually adjust the trades. Like I might if I see that we're in a, like the auto trade takes a trade and I see how it's working, I might just kind of like squeeze it up a little bit, and or take the stop and maybe like pull it back a little bit and let it run a little bit. I've done that, and Mark does that in his room in the mornings. But for the most part, today I'm just going to manually trade everything, looking for what I'm looking for. Now, I'm trying to, hang on, this was something that could have been tradable. There are some things that I'm looking at that I want to develop into a auto trade. Some of the things that I'm seeing based on the 30, I want to see if they can program that into an auto trade, and if they could do that, which I think they can, then I will be testing that during the YouTube videos. Okay, this is what I was looking for. This, I said, you've got to respect. Now, right here, this was something I'd be looking at here. Now we've got a full body here that we're looking at. I might take this trade going up.
Order filled.
Okay. Now I might. This has been going on for a while. The MA diff's a little high, so we got our first target here, and now it's running. Of course. But what I was looking for here is, and this happened right here, I would probably start looking at about 640. Or maybe right here we could have gotten in a little bit early. This would have taken us out. We would have had to get back in. This took me out. Now I'm not going to jump back in because the MA diff's a little high. When it gets up to over 100, I start to pull back a little bit. Now it could just take off. I've seen it as high as 140, 150, whatever, and it still runs. Now that is, well, I don't have it on here, but if I did have my trend line on here, it's, holy cow, look at that thing go. It's the distance between my trend line and the 50. I don't have the trend line on this chart right now. Could have we got back in? I mean, just I don't like how this thing is just running along here, and now it's dipping below. Jeez, we got a little piece of it. Now, things that tell me that this thing might be weakening. Obviously, we lose a quant. Fractal starts to go up. More so, this explosion bar dips below the orange. See, I like getting in trades when this is still dark green. Once it starts getting into this area, you can still get into a trade, but it's starting to weaken. Once it dips below, this thing's going to start diminishing. Okay, but it could also fire back up. So you just need to be careful. Now, if I would have done exit on line change and didn't squeeze that, I'd still be in this trade. But I like being able to basically break even and let it run. Unfortunately, it took me out right here, where I could have had this and probably been done for the day. Good morning. So, that's what we're looking at. And then maybe after the first of the year, I'll modify this and do what Mark is doing and do a combination of manual and auto trading. Now we have a pullback here. Now, pullbacks, you can only assume it's going to go to the 50. Now, are you going to get an aggressive pullback, which is a nice, fall off the cliff? Or is it going to be one of these sideways pullbacks? The sideways pullback are the ones that drain your account. And those are the ones that you just need to. You don't know if you're going to get a sideways or. Now this one almost looks like it's a head fake pullback. It started to go, and those are the ones that. I've had a lot of members. They love to get in right here below this hammer, or falling star, or whatever you want to call it. It's a. And what I find with these, here again, there's another one. I have to have a match here. Okay, well, this looks like it might be working. I'm looking at my 50. I'm sorry, looking at the 30, looking at this candle. Okay, this is pull back. Now this has to go away on the 50. This green bar. I'll probably use a combination. I'll use the charts that Mark's using. What I want to do is I want to try to get. I want to talk to them maybe today and see if we can pull an indicator together based on some things that I'm seeing with the 30 range. The hard part is taking information from the 30 range and adapting it so it works on the 8 uni. Now you can do bias, you can do those types of things, but can you do it on? Can you take information off of this when it revolves around the bars and equate it to over here? That's usually the hard part, because they say, well, why don't you just trade the 30 range chart, which you could, and that would be one of the auto trade packages we have already. Okay, so what do we have here? This ended up being a really nice pullback. Right here, I'm looking. Okay, this is good. Now, what I'm doing is, as soon as this gets on the other side of the price gets on the other side of this 30, okay, I'll start getting a little bit of a spread here, which is good. But you're trading the gap. We used to call this back when we didn't even have auto trading strategies. We would call this playing the 50 gap. Okay, if you've got a lot of distance between the trend line and the 50 moving average, you can kind of trade this gap in here once price clears. Now you need to be careful, because as you can see right here, these 50 moving averages will cause usually a pause in trading. Usually we'll hold it up, and it might do a few little gyrations, a few little big wicks. Very rarely does it just cut right through it. It usually at least stops it for a little bit. And you can trade like right this distance right in here. Now, here again, if you're looking at the rules of trading the 8 uni, you want to have bias, you want to have separation, you want to have quants. We don't have that right now. We don't have any bias. We have the nice separation here. So I look over here and go, well, what's going on here? Well, I kind of like this. I've got my red brushes, but now I'm going right into my 50. What's going to happen here? Is it going to cut right through? Let's see what happens. And here's more of like an interpretation of what's happening with these bars, what's happening in the market, and how the indicators are adjusting to them. Now, typically I would see this and I go, wow, it's a nice big pullback here. I like that. Now, what's kind of right behind this 50 moving average, we've got the VWAP right here. I mean, it's looking good. And maybe, if I put the signals, this is more the auto trader, I would have. Now this usually typically will trade with bias. Now my bias is here right now. I don't have it. I have the light pink bias over here. I would never trade typically in a light pink bias. So this ended up being one of those pullbacks that actually it didn't work out here, but here if you got in, that's $1,000 plus trade. Was there a place that we could have gotten in? Yeah, maybe right here. But it was flat. Typically you don't want to trade in a flat trend line. But this time it worked real well. So you want to actually, you got to be careful of falling into the trap where, hey, it worked this time, and now basing your all your trading around, oh, it worked this time. Well, we need to work with how it works probability wise most of the time, if that makes sense. Why don't I use a webcam? I can. I don't know if that helps. It just takes up more space on my charts. Hello, Bernard. I mean, if you guys want me to use a webcam, I can. Maybe I'll do it on Thursday. Okay, now look, now I'm right on my VWAP right here. I know Mark uses a webcam. A lot of YouTubers use webcam. I mean, I can. It just takes up some space on my charts here. That's why I don't do it. This is just a 17-inch monitor right here. Okay, so come on. I don't know if I'm liking this. As soon as it got to this VWAP here, these started to get a little bit lower. My fractal's going up. There's some things I like, but this is slowly started getting a little less and less on my brushes here. Here again, 132 MA diff. Not really sure if I want to take something with that high of an MA diff. I think I'd rather see this kind of go back. Now, here again, I'm just going to show you. Just pull this over. Look at what the 89 did. It went up, came down, touched it. Now maybe this is going back up again. Now that was a huge pullback then on the 89. Okay. This is big brush. I like that compared to this candle. Okay, maybe we brush. Again, for this to go up, I just don't like where my fractal is. Fractal is really super low, and you want to take the fractal as it's going down, whether it be an up move or down move. So this has me a little concerned right there. because the fractal really has nowhere to go except right along this. Are you using a separate BPS server for your charts? Helps with slippage. Okay. I'm just using, let me see if I can pull it up. I have I have a Rhythmic account and a NinjaTrader account. I have a Kinetic account. I have the NinjaTrader and the Rhythmic account active now. If that answers your question. Okay. Here again, I'm seeing things I like here. This fractal just has me a little thrown off here.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Don't know if I'd like that trade now that I entered it. I think it might work for us. Get it? The reason I say that is I don't like taking, if I'm going to take this trade going up, I want to take it before these things start getting lower. This was strong enough that this was popping through, that here again I'm getting these one targets. See, I don't like trading on a flat trend line. What I do is I use these flat trend lines to draw my box, my trading box here, and now I just have to be careful of, I'm going right into this highest session. I'm going right into this volume zone here. Everything else I like on this. I'd like to see this brush get up. I don't like these lime green brushes. I'm not a fan. I'd rather get in right here. Actually, if you're looking at it, I'd rather get in like here. This is the look I'm looking for. But green brush, everything looks good here. I don't have my quants where I want them. The gear is definitely not getting my acceleration dots. So that just tells me it's just kind of flopping along right here. So if I'm looking at going up, I need to get through. And this is my little blue discretionary line. Sometimes I'll just throw that on here saying, well, this is something I really need to pay attention to. Okay, we need to get through this. Are we going to get a double top on this? Or are we going to punch right through? In this scenario of how I use my 30 range and 50 range can be adopted to any instrument. I mean, it's whatever creates the bias in the C2 for that instrument that you would have these trades up. You could do the same with gold, ES, Russell. Just don't like this right here. My MA diff's a little higher than I'd like it. I know we need to wait for these things to happen, but I don't like an MA diff that's now. Here we go. Now that I like.
Order submitted. Order filled.
No, 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 no. Come on.
Order filled.
I should have gone with my gut and said don't take it, even though I started getting these green brushes up here. Got in a little bit late. MA diff got too high. And then this started changing colors here. I'm like, oh, this is done. This is going to reverse. Now let's see what kind of reversal we get. Maybe I'll catch this one. Okay, see, it's doing just what it did last time. Went down 2 bars, went back up. Looks like we're going to try to get a double top here. And let's see if it... see if it drops this time.
Order submit. Order filled.
As soon as I got my... Nope, didn't get it yet.
Target
There
filled.
we go. As soon as this went up, this dropped.
Stop filled.
Nope, that's about it. I was hoping I was going to get one of those big runs. All right, we still might get it. It was setting itself up for it. For a reversal, I have to wait for this to drop completely. Get a red, this to drop. Then you have a better chance of a smoother trade versus something like this where it never really turned red on me. And now I've got to get through this. Okay, so are we just going down to the 50, resetting, reloading? Or are we going to have a steeper drop, get these back to the 50? Now, I typically will do this in the I typically do this on the 50. I'll do it on a okay, so I'll draw a box like this. The high to the low of the candles, maybe a tick beyond. Then I'll put properties on here, and I'll put it on all charts. Nope, didn't do it. Messed up. Properties, all charts. Now that tells me don't try to take any trades until I'm outside the box. And when you do it on a 50 range, it actually, I think it has a lot of help. I've never really done one on the 30 range. what I'm using, hang on. What I'm using as a server, what I'm using as my, I guess you could call it your server. My data provider is through NinjaTrader, and I have an additional one through Rhythmic. Well, Rhythmic is your NinjaTrader broker, and I also have a Kinetic. So I guess you could say I have two data providers. No. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so we're still kind of floundering in this block area. We have to get, we got to get through this. Here we go. Okay, I need, and just to be, just so when it comes to, I always want to trade, or you always want to trade off of a fresh cross. Okay, let's clear that. Let's make that something that's is always part of our rules. When things set up correctly, a fresh cross is always the best. Once it starts going, like, see, this might be maybe is this your B trade? You know, once it starts going through a few times, I like it to go back and touch the 50. It kind of did here. But fresh crosses are always going to be your best. Yeah, the reason I have, I guess, multiple data providers is that at one point there was a indicator we had that you had to use a secondary data provider, and I just kept it on because I found out that if I had not necessarily slippage, but if there was a problem with hey, not connection, but if there was a problem, the second data server would kind of kick in. So that's why I've always had two running at the same time. Hey, Kenneth. Now, this is going to go into the 50. I do pay for a second server. But here again, do I need it? Excuse me. To me, it never hurts to have a second one, especially if hang on, let's see if we have a trade here. I think I was paying $80 for my second one through $80 a month, and it was just like, well, like I said, I needed it for the one indicator, and then we didn't need it anymore. I just kept it on, and what I would use it for sometimes is if I had a bad connection. The other ones seem to help me get through those days you had a bad connection. That makes, it's, hopefully I'm making sense here. And I figured $80 was well worth it. Okay, got my quants, got my Laguerre, got my acceleration dot. This is up. Don't have my bias. Don't look at the angle of this 50. Not real pleased with. I need to have a little bit of additional confirmation to get through here. Okay, I'm not out of the gray area yet, or the box yet. You'll be surprised at how well that holds up. Okay, this is expanding. I like that. This is building up. I like that.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Didn't like my order. Hopefully I'm not too premature. I kind of jumped in on that one. Maybe a little too early. I'm getting a little bit of a pullback here. As I said, I prefer to go in when it's red, not like this. This might come back and bite me. Let's see. Hopefully, we might be okay. But typically when I do this trade, I prefer that they are yes, for sure. If you if you got multiple prop accounts and you are trading the replicator, I would definitely or some type of replicating, I would definitely want multiple servers.
Stop filled.
Okay, now I didn't expect a whole lot out of this. Oh, how did you do 240? Oh, did you catch that a little bit? Okay. Where'd you get in on that, Marcia? Wow. You could have gotten in here. You could have gotten in here. A good place. Here again, not the best structure. A little bit more of a gamble. I shouldn't say a gamble. I mean, it's probability. That's a better way to say it, you know, statistically, probability wise, whatever you want to call it. I liked this candle right here. I just didn't like. I just know what this 50 can do, and I did not like. I don't like opposing. Oh, okay. I don't like opposing colors when it comes to the 50 and the trend line. It's so much better to trade when they are in agreement with each other. And then you get this type of setup. Like right here, you know, you look at that and I'm like, oh, I kind of like that, you know, but just like this one, I like it, but I don't like. This is going into the 50. It's going to pause it, and this should turn soon. This 50. As soon as it turns, I'm going to be in pink bias, and it might even repaint back some of this. So I'll be looking back at this, going, why didn't I get in right here on this trade? I'm not a fan of the pink bias, the light pink. There we go. Now it's pink. There you go. But now that MA diff's too high. So that's the trade-off. We traded out of the box. Oop, I'm getting a little lag right there. I just hit a little lag for a second. I think it's always important to you have the market analyzer, you have your data lag timer on, just to see where you're at. So the last thing you want to do is be in a trade and you're starting to get lag. That could be real deadly, in a sense that it'll kill your accounts. Okay, well, it's good to know. And I'm getting some good data today when it comes to trading these together. Okay. Possibly this could have been something I could take in the future if it makes sense over here. Like I said before, I always want to take a trade off of a fresh spread right here. Now, this actually really would have worked really well. I just didn't like how the structure of the 30 range chart was. Okay. Well, definitely not where I wanted to be today. Went right down to the 50. Kind of stopped in its tracks here. We've got about a half hour left. Then we'll be back here on Thursday for the YouTube. We're here every morning in the room. On YouTube, we'll be here back on Thursday, last hour of trading. This is a squeeze indicator. Was it TTM squeeze indicator? It's another free one off of NinjaTrader. And how I use that is there's two ways I've looked at it. For example, let's say I have a brush that's let's say working in my, like right here, we've got like a brush starting to create on the 30 range. I'm looking at this going, okay, everything's kind of going down. Price is below the 50. Okay, I got to get off the flatness of here. Let's say this brush kind of gets above the explosion line here. I'm looking for this to turn red. And if this starts to turn red and I've got the explosion indicator like that, then I'm looking for, typically you want to wait for it to go from like this gray color, and I just arbitrarily put this as orange. That's your explosion. This is the wind up along here. When you get these, this is kind of like a wind up. This is the, and then boom, the squeeze opens up. But right here, as soon as I start getting red, and this is red, and then I change colors to make things kind of work with my eyes. So, like back here, and I want to do it before it gets into the light green, if I can. If this is still orange and this is light green and still high, it's okay. But as soon as this dips below, it's kind of done. Now I kind of went back up again. So it's not a perfect indicator, but what I'm doing, like right here, boom, you can take it up. Like I said, it's not perfect. I go back and forth with how I want to use it. But like right here, I've got a brush going up. I'm just waiting for this to give me, before I was getting, hey, I just want to do the explosion. That worked really well for me. And then I saw there was something with the squeeze and the explosion together. So I'm still experimenting, going back and forth. That's why it's so important to use it with real data. And when I say real data, I mean live data as you're trading, the right side of the chart. Does it work? Does it help give me a edge along with my quants and everything else we've learned through the money flow tracker? Like this, here again, we know going into a 50 is going to, we know going into a 50 is going to pause it. So, what if this, I'm getting red equated to red here. Okay, over the explosion, do I take it? Well, this is not quite there yet. Okay. And now, as these 30 range and 50 range start to squeeze together, we're going to get to a point where we want to see that, but we still want to see separation, because when these when these two lines get twisted together and tangled, it's untradeable. Now, once it opens up, yeah, we can usually get a nice run, but as they're slowly squeezing together, like I said, at some point it'll be untradeable. I used to call it braided. When they become braided, they're just twisted on each other. But give it a little time for it to get that separation. And I think we did that, was it yesterday? We had that $1,000 trade in the room. We're pretty close to it. I don't remember. It was either that or out of the box. But, okay. Pink bias, because this is turning. Okay, let me get a big brush here. I got a big brush here already. Now, I don't like this. This has to go away.
Order submitted.
Let's hope I didn't get in too late. That kind of jumped on me. Yeah.
Order canceled.
Maybe we're getting a big pullback here. You know, I don't know if I ever got above the 50 here. See, those are the ones you don't want to chase, because all of a sudden you kind of see it running on you and you're like, I missed it. And you try to get in, and next thing you know, it does this. I almost chased it. Let this build up. Now here, I can draw a box on this. Now you're going to say, Craig, that's a pretty big area. So I'm going to take the top of this wick and the bottom of this candle here, maybe just a whisker below it. There's my box. I'm going to put all charts, apply. There we go. Now I want to trade outside of this box. That should get me outside of this, because this is flat right here. You shouldn't be trading a flat 50. Now there's little tiny trades in here you might be able to get, maybe some first targets, but I think they're going to be a little bit higher risk and a little bit more volatile, because you're dancing on the 50 here, you're approaching the 50 here. And I forget who brought this up in the room. Must have been maybe even 2 years ago. They showed me how to do this, and I am forever thankful for that, because that has helped me stay out of some mess. Okay, this is starting to look good. Big, 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 big brush. Now I'm just waiting for this to kind of fall into place here. Now I do have the VWAP that we're going to be going right into. This is still green. Here again, I don't care if this is crossed or not, and I'll have it, but I really like it when I prefer it when my trend lines and my 50 are at least the same color.
Order submitted.
I don't know if I like this or not. I think I might be a little bit too close to the VWAP here.
Order canceled.
Oh, plus my 89 is going right into the 52 and the VWAP. Okay, all right. Well, that's the nice thing about the sell on down close, the NDT. You know, you can put your order in and kind of look at it and go, does this make sense?
Order submitted.
I don't know if it does yet. No.
Order canceled.
I think it might be a little too close to and the reason is it's not going to be clean. Like I said, typically you'll get a big wick, and these should be a series of smaller wicks because I think it's getting closer to the VWAP here. My line's changed here. I'm happy with that. My brush is up. I love that.
Order submitted. Order filled.
And I chased it. Too close, I think. Let's see if this pops underneath it. Then I should be okay. Come on. Looks like it cleared it, but probably only be a first target. Big brush, big brush. No, I lost it here. See
Stop filled.
Yeah. Well, my 50, my 89 is holding this up. You see it right here, the 89. It's pink, but it might do it, but it's holding it up right now. Plus, it's the VWAP. You know, you need to be sensitive to that. You trade out of it. You don't usually want to trade into it because you might get a candle beyond it, and then it's going to do a little reversal on you. Okay, we've got a C2 now.
Order submitted. Order filled. Target.
Okay. Come on, brushes, keep going.
Stop filled.
Another first target. Okay. Well, not the best, not the worst. Okay. That got me in right here. First target. Oh, nice. Good job, Marcia. Okay, this will probably be the last trade of the day. Let's see how it works out. Big brush. Good brush. I don't have anything down here. I don't like this. Oh, it actually moved a little bit more than I thought it would. Again, I have structure. See, this turned on me, went underneath. Okay, let's see if we get some big brushes now. Need a brush on my 30. Definitely the wrong color right here. This might be an indicator that this might be turning. I mean, why am I getting green brushes here? And now I'm getting a red brush. Here we go.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Hopefully I'm not too far out here. Not my favorite type of trade. Because it's extended. I like taking these trades when they're just starting. Come on. Give me another little taste here. Just a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more. Come on, get up there a little bit.
Stop filled.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not going to chase after it anymore. Not the best day, not the worst day, you know. But it was a very, what I would say, conservative day. I waited for my breaks. I waited for the breaks of pivots. I waited for this to kind of like jump up to where I wanted it, where I feel like this thing is going to move, and it did. The brushes, waiting for things to be concurrent in its colors, meaning that they're waiting for like you had location is whether they're crossed or not. As long as they're the same color, just makes life a little bit easier. The C2 gave us an added confirmation of trend, and we were able to grab a couple bucks out of the market today, very conservatively. And that's what we're looking at, being conservative in our trading and increasing our probability. Now, this, I don't know about, I mean, yeah, we're up here. This is still a little bit too low for me. Marcia, you're doing great today. So that's it. We've reached the 8 o'clock hour. Like I said, if you're part of the room opens up at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. And we're doing YouTube videos on Tuesdays at the open. And on Thursday, we'll do a YouTube video, the last hour of trading. All right? And that is, and here, this you can grab. I mean, it's a little lower than I'd like, because I like it when it's up over the explosion line. When it's not, it just has a tendency to reverse sometimes a little quicker. But How much does the account have to be? What do you mean, Walter? I mean, I like to shoot for $500 a day on 2 contracts. Um, but any green day is a good day. You know, I'm not gonna. And did I let a couple trades go by? Yeah, I did. Yeah, sim account is free, um, and that's what you trade on. And then you can do. I'll just throw out that you can do an Apex account, which is kind of like a. Those are accounts that you qualify using other I guess OPM, other people's money. You have to pay for those. And then if you blow out an account, you have to re-up it. A lot of people go that route, or you can fund your own account. And I think if you're trading a live account and you're trading 2 contracts, you can trade the micros. And I think you can trade the micros, and if you've had like maybe what 2 grand, and I'll put it out to the room real quick. Before we close down. I know we're going a little bit longer. If you're trading a micro account, you can trade probably with 2 grand and then build it up from there. I think if you're trading for me, when I'm trading the NQ and I'm trading 2 contracts, I think 5,000 is a good benchmark for a live account trading 2 contracts. Here again, everyone has different levels. I think you only need 2 grand to really do that in Ninja, but I think 5 grand is good for trading the NQ. Micros, I think you can get away with 2 grand. And then if you do like the funded accounts, here again, you can. There's a lot of people that go that route. It's really what you want to put into it. But trading sim is always going to be good. But that's where you develop your habits. And I probably traded sim for a good 6 months before I even committed funds to it. But sim is where you develop your habits, and then when you trade live, whether it be like I said, micro or the floor contracts, then you go from there. Okay. Well, Duke, thank you for being part of the YouTube channel today. I appreciate your feedback, and I appreciate everyone who attended the room today. In my morning room and in the YouTube video. Thank you for being here. I hope you learned something today, and we'll be back here again. Like I said, the room will be open tomorrow, and the YouTube will do another one on Thursday, the last hour of trading. So everyone, have a blessed rest of your day. Be safe out there, and we'll see you back here soon.